Hello, book lovers. If you are looking for interesting and useful summaries of the most important books, then you are in the right place. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive the latest summaries. If you enjoy the summary, do not forget to like. My book brings you the switch. How do you change things when change is hard? Implementing change is like riding an elephant. Choose a destination, offer some rewards to the elephant, and commit to a clear path. Changing our behavior is not always an easy task, as anyone who has tried to quit smoking knows. Following a healthy diet, or starting to exercise in the morning, what makes the change complicated? A common metaphor to describe the process of behavioral change. It is the analogy of the elephant and its rider. The elephant is a strong and stubborn creature that represents the emotional side of our personality that tends to seek quick rewards rather than long-term results. As for the rider, he represents rationality. He knows what to do, but relies on willpower to guide the elephant. The road symbolizes the environment or conditions in which change occurs. Imagine that you want to wake up at 6 a.m. to go for a run. Your mind represents the rider. He knows this is good for you, but when the alarm clock rings, your emotional elephant desire may be asking you to get more sleep. In this case, the elephant may overtake the rider. Losing the opportunity to exercise the environment also plays an important role. An uncomfortable bed or bad weather may make the task more difficult. Conversely, things like the smell of fresh coffee may be a trigger to get the elephant moving. In short, success in creating change depends on your ability to direct your mind, which is the rider, and stimulate your feelings, which are the elephant. And personalizing your environment is the way, whether it's about changing your behavior or influencing others. Success comes from the balance of these three elements. Chapter 1. Look for small successes, learn from them and spread them. Your inner passenger is an excellent thinker and planner, but he may sometimes get stuck in a spiral of overthinking, where he is busy analyzing every detail of change without taking any actual step. Worse still, his focus is often on obstacles and problems, ignoring any possible progress. But overthinking challenges will not move you forward. You have to direct this thinking towards a specific and clear goal so that your mind can plan and make decisions effectively, instead of getting immersed in problems. Focus on the so-called bright spots, those small successes where change has already occurred. Try to understand how these successes were achieved, and use the lessons to scale the change. This approach was used successfully by Jerry Sternin in 1990, when the government of Vietnam asked him to help combat child malnutrition rather than focusing on complex causes such as poverty and poor sanitation. Stryn chose to look for small successes. He discovered that although malnutrition was common in one village, some children were healthy, and the families of these children had succeeded in overcoming the problem. When studying these families, it was found that they fed their children small amounts but frequently. These simple differences were the key to success. And by spreading these customs among the rest of the families in the village, he was able to achieve amazing results. Within 6 months, the nutritional status of 65% of the children in the village improved. So look for small successes, learn from them and share them with others. Chapter 2. Your mind hates making decisions, so come up with a clear plan for change. When faced with a situation that requires change, your mind can experience overanalysis known as decision paralysis. Imagine that you are trying to implement a general goal, such as eating healthier. Your mind will start reviewing all the options: eat more vegetables, reduce pasta, reduce salt, and using healthy oil. All of these options are useful. But too much analysis may lead to not taking any actual action. This is very common among people. Studies show that too many options make decision-making more difficult. When we have many alternatives, we feel hesitant and confused on the outside. This may seem like resistance to change, but it actually stems from a lack of clarity about the next step. The solution is to provide clear and specific instructions to the mind. Ambiguity leads to paralysis, so you need to set specific behavioral goals and practical directions. Focus on the most important situations related to change and write the critical steps clearly. For example, if you want to improve your diet, start by making a shopping plan. What you buy is what you eat. In the end, when researchers in West Virginia wanted to encourage people to eat healthy, they didn't just give them general advice to, say, eat healthy. Instead, provide specific directions the next time you buy milk. Choose 1% milk instead of whole milk. This advice was simple and easy to implement, and has resulted in a significant increase in low-fat milk consumption and a reduction in fat consumption overall when you set clear steps for change. Even small actions can lead to big results. Chapter 3. Set a goal that appeals to both the mind and feelings. When we face the challenges of change, the mind often gets lost in overthinking, analyzing every option, resulting in wasting time and purpose. To avoid this paralysis of thinking, you must give the mind a clear direction to move toward. For example, when teacher Crystal Jones wanted to motivate her first graders, she told them that by the end of the year, they would be third-grade honor students. They read, write, and do mathematics at a higher level. This powerful vision captured the students' minds, gave them a specific and compelling goal, and appealed to their emotions by offering an exciting promise of reaching the prestigious third-grade level. This technique is known as a destination card, which is a vivid and attractive image of the near future. To be truly effective, it must attract reason and emotion together, and most importantly, the critical moves to achieve that goal must be aligned with the destination card, so that reason and emotion work in harmony to achieve change. But what do you do when commitment to change is not strong? Suppose you decide to eat healthy food. You may initially stick to a new diet, but over time you may start to make excuses to yourself. I ate a salad last week, so I can eat these hot dogs now. To avoid this kind of rationalization, you can set clear, strict goals that leave no room for backtracking. Instead of saying, I will eat healthy, say, I will never eat hot dogs again, although this approach may seem less flexible or inspired. However, it reduces the possibility of deviating from your nutritional goals. Chapter 4. To move the elephant in the right direction, you have to evoke strong emotions. While the mind that is the rider may be able to direct the emotion that is the elephant, its power is limited. In the end, the mind alone will not be able to control a strong emotion for long before it gets carried away in the wrong direction. So to achieve successful changes, it is not enough to convince the mind with logical arguments. Emotion must also be stimulated. Strong feelings drive emotion, not rational analysis. Unit. When John Stegner wanted to convince the leaders of his company that their purchasing process was ineffective, he realized that presenting data and graphs would not be enough. So he created a way to influence their feelings. Collect 424 different species of the gloves that the company's factories were buying. He placed them all on the meeting table. When the leaders saw the huge amount of different gloves, they were surprised and angry, and quickly said, "Why do we buy all these different types? This is unbelievable." with such strong feelings. Everyone quickly agreed that the purchasing system needed to be changed. The feelings that motivate passion can be positive, such as desire, or negative, such as fear. In Stegner's case, the negative emotions, namely shock and anger, triggered a sense of urgency, keeping everyone focused on solving the problem quickly. In contrast, when the problem is less obvious, positive emotions, such as hope and optimism, are more effective because they expand people's thinking. It helps them explore new solutions. Chapter 5. To motivate an elephant to climb a mountain, start by directing it toward a small hill. Change often seems big and scary. For example, a person facing huge debts may feel that paying them off is impossible for the elephant representing emotion. This great challenge seems like a mountain that cannot be climbed, which leads to stagnation and not taking any step. How can you move the elephant? The solution is to reduce the size of the change. Make the elephant see that he only needs to climb a small hill. In the beginning. One way to motivate an elephant is to show that progress has already begun. Consider this study when people were asked to collect 10 stamps on a card given to car wash customers, where the customer received a free wash after completing the card. Only 19% of people completed stamp collecting. But in another condition, a second group was told that they needed to collect 12 stamps to get the same reward, but the card already contained 2 stamps. The surprise was that 34% of this group completed stamp collecting, although the effort required was the same, but the second group was more motivated. Because they felt like they had already made some progress. So to motivate others, you must highlight the progress that has been made. Minimizing change also means dividing it into small steps. The easier and more achievable the goal, the greater the chances of success. This approach is followed by personal finance expert Dave Ramsey in helping people pay off their debt. Instead of starting by paying off larger debts, he advises his clients to pay off smaller debts first. These small victories reinforce a sense of accomplishment and create motivation to keep going. Small victories give hope, and that hope feeds the elephant. As more of these small steps are achieved, the elephant gains momentum, making the change process more sustainable in the long term. Chapter 6. To make change easier, build new habits and let the environment support them. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. government was concerned about the spread of drug abuse among soldiers. 20% of them became seriously addicted while in Vietnam. But surprisingly, 1 year after returning home, only 1% of these soldiers remained addicted to their new environment back home. With the support of family and friends, it helped them tremendously to give up their addiction. Just as the environment of Vietnam contributed to their addiction previously, this example clearly shows that the environment plays a big role in shaping our habits, whether positive or negative. Habits are an automatic pilot of behavior that we do automatically without much mental effort. If you can build habits that support the desired change, you get results without a lot of conscious effort building habits. It can be a challenge, so it is necessary to set your environment in a way that helps you adopt these habits easily. One effective method is to use environmental stimuli to initiate the desired behavior. For example, you could decide that after dropping your kids off at school, this is the motivator. You'll go straight to the gym. This is the verb. This means that the environment. Another effective tool is the use of simple lists. These lists help organize tasks and avoid complacency, making it easier to stick to habits. For this reason, pilots rely on lists to ensure that they do not shortchange the necessary steps in their routine, thus ensuring that the habit is followed correctly and as required. The main message in this book is when trying to change your behavior, there are 3 basic components that affect your success. The first is the writer, which is the mind, which represents the analytical side of you and needs clear guidance to move in the right direction. Secondly, the elephant. It represents the emotional side and needs stimulation to move in the direction determined by the mind. The path, which is the environment, includes the environmental factors that influence your behavior and must be easy to follow to successfully achieve change. If you liked this summary, do not forget to like and subscribe to receive all new updates. Until we meet in another book.